What's going on, guys? It's Filthy and I'm back with another video. Today I thought it'd be fun to have a chat about Season 18 and rank the classes in terms of which has got the fastest or the strongest start. Now don't get me wrong, there are no bad classes anymore. Every build in this game is capable of doing GR 70, every class is capable of getting to GR 100 with a fair bit of time, but not particularly much, not like how it used to be where it was hours upon hours. So all the classes are strong, it's just some are stronger than others. Now this is going to be from a solo perspective. I generally only play solo, so if you do want to know about groups, the answer is definitely Necromancer. The Legacy of Dreams mages will be the XP meta, but obviously Veers is pretty strong for that too. But if you're interested in solo, then we'll go through the Hadrix bags, we'll look at the 2-piece, 4-piece and 6-piece, have a little chat about how easy it is to get to 70, and look at some kind of builds that you'll gear off into, because not all of these starting sets are the strongest for each particular class, and there might be builds that you want to move into. Now before we get into it, if you haven't subscribed already, please hit that sub button, and a thumbs up is always appreciated on a video. With that said, let's jump into it and look at 7th place, which is going to be the Barbarian. Now it's probably no great surprise if you follow this game that Barb is in last place. Raycore, I mean, if you're ever going to play Barb, it's a great set to start with. It is probably the Barbarian's strongest build. It is a good set to start with. You've got no real issues getting to 70 with Barb. You've got easy access to multipliers as you go. The 2-piece for Raycore is quite nice. Furious Charge refunds a charge if you only hit one enemy. That's pretty useful. The 4-piece is probably one of the best 4-pieces in the game. Furious Charge gains every rune and you get a 1000% damage increase, so it's very handy to transition into your 6-piece. And then even if you look at the 6-piece, it does deal an absolute stack of damage, 5500% every time you charge, and you can jack that up to 5 times before spending it. So 5 times 5500 is a lot of damage. The only problem really is Barb has just fallen behind everything else. Now I was hoping Barb would get some love in this patch and that some of the supporting legendaries or the sets would be reworked or increased, but unfortunately they haven't. And I think looking at the new items in the game, the Barbs don't really use them. There's nothing really that buffs their damage. I think that's probably where they were lacking. Barb is pretty much in last place this season, and I think it's going to be the same next season. So it's not to say it's bad, it's just if you compare it to the rest of the classes, I do think it's going to be the weakest. But that said, as I say, if you're going to play Barb anyway, then Raycore is going to be the set you want to start with, because it is probably the best set. So Barb, I think, is going to be bottom of the barrel, but fingers crossed for next season. Let's hope Barb gets some love. Now guys, this is going to shock you, but in 6th I've gone for the Necromancer. Now, Necro is in a pretty good spot. It's not that this isn't powerful, it's just I think the other 5 classes above it are probably more powerful for solo play. Now, Necro has got a really easy time getting to 70. You've got access to pets, you can get a guaranteed multiplier by upgrading 2-handed scythes in the cube. There are also lovely items you can get by rolling blood shards at Kadala very early in the game. Even when you get to 70, multipliers are fairly easy to come by, and Pestilence is a fairly decent set. You know, it would be the best set if they hadn't buffed Anarius, but 800 Paragon, I just think you're going to find that other sets in the game will outperform it. Now the 2-piece that you get is every time you consume a corpse, you fire a corpse lance to a nearby enemy. That's great because corpse lance is one of the Necro's most damaging skills. You obviously just need corpses so that you can fire them off. So if you're one-shotting everything, then it creates like a perpetual motion kind of thing. You just keep going and just keep killing. But generally speaking, you're going to be pairing this with Land of the Dead. Now the 4-piece will give you some damage reduction, and then the 6-piece is where you get your damage increase for Corpse Lance. So really, it's not going to be until the 6-piece that you're going to be able to tackle any kind of content of any note. And even then, you've got to gear considerably for cooldown. It's a cooldown based build. It's generally pretty squishy, and it's powerful, it's strong, but I just think if you look at the rest of the sets, the rest of the classes, they're going to be performing better than Necro. Kind of hope I'm wrong. I obviously love Necro to bits, but I think I'd probably put it in 6th place for this season for solo play. Now in 5th we've gone for the Crusader. Crusader again, 1 to 70, has got a fairly easy time of it. It's quite easy to get a multiplier early doors. You've got the pony, so you've got quite a lot of mobility very early with the Crusader. It is not too bad a ride up to 70. The 2 and 4 piece of the Khan set are not particularly brilliant. So the 2 piece, you reduce the cost of all abilities by 50% whilst Akarat's champion is active. That's not particularly great because it's not up very often early on. The 4 piece is quite helpful. You reduce the cooldown on Akarat's champion by 50%. So you can get up to that permanent Akarat's champion level of 56% cooldown fairly quickly with this. One-handed weapon is always a good way to get more cooldown with a Crusader. And the 6 piece is fairly flexible. It's a 1500% damage increase to everything and also 50% damage reduction. So you do have multiple builds that you can gear off this. You can go Blessed Shield, you can go Kadem, you can go Holy Shotgun. And it's kind of nice because all 3 of those you can then work into the Legacy Dreams versions, which will probably be where you'll be looking to head post sort of 500 Paragon. Now this set has got 7 pieces, so it is really flexible. It's fantastic for getting DBs. It's a traditional Sage build, but it's more flexible now because there's an extra piece to the Sage set. But it can use the Captain Crimsons and the All Guild set. It can use Focus and Restraint, all sorts of things. And I made a guide sort of showing with only 400 Paragon you can blast GR70 in 3.5 minutes, just with the starting set and crappy gear. So it is pretty strong. The Legacy Dreams Blessed Shield will probably be where you end up with your Crusader. That's where I would go. It's fun, it's a kill everything build, and it's quite easy to speed with it. So I think last season with the Legacy of Nightmares buff, with about 620, 630 Paragon, you could clear in the low 90s and you could speed in the mid 80s. So it is pretty strong. You'll have to rank up the Legacy Dreams gem, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So I think Crusader going to be 5th. Now in 4th place we've gone for the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter has got a fairly hard time up to 70. Multipliers are not quite as easy as with other classes to come by, but you still can get one now that Rapid Fire has got one. The Triune Rings are going to be pretty important. They're going to benefit range classes, so leveling will be easier this season than it ever has been for the Demon Hunter. So it is kind of nice to jump in one of those rings with the resource cost reduction or the extra damage. So it's going to catch up a bit in that regard. Now the Marauders set is quite a nice set. The 2 piece, you get all the companions by your side. That's really nice. There's some really cool effects in there, so that is pretty useful. And then the 4 piece, you're getting extra damage on your sentries. So again, you get a nice damage buff, which will help you get your 6 piece. Now the 6 piece Marauder is ridiculously strong. 12,000% increased damage per active sentry. That's just nuts. You can have fairly decent number of sentries and you can really pump out some damage. Now from Marauders you can also find up some Natalia pieces and go for N6, M4, or you can transition yourself into Unhallowed Essence multi-shot. Now with Marauders you can just simply put multi-shot on there. You can go for your Yangs, you can go for your Quiver, you can do an awful lot of damage and this will go very high very quickly. But because you can use UE with the Crimsons, with the massive damage reduction for your Yang's recurve, this will go very high very quickly and you won't have any kind of toughness problems. So I think Demon Hunter, you will be absolutely rocketing away. And the only reason it's in 4th is because I just think that the other classes above this will probably be a little quicker. Now I'm a little unsure. Demon Hunter, I think maybe go for 3rd. I'm very tempted to roll the Demon Hunter. Does look an awful lot of fun next season, so I'm pretty tempted. But yeah, I'm going to even give it 4th spot. What do you guys think? Now in 3rd, I've gone for the Monk. I just think this will be a little better than the Demon Hunter. So Monk up to 70 has got quite an easy time. Again, multipliers are very easy to get at level 1, so it is quite a quick and mobile class. Inners is a really good set. Again, it's quite flexible. You can do lots of different things with it. The 2 piece is nice. You get the passive effect of Mystic Ally and Mantra increased by 100%. That's quite nice. At the 4 piece you gain the base effect of all of the mantras, so again it's a fairly handy one to get. And then the 6 piece you're going to be dealing extra damage for all of your Mystic Allies. Now you're going to want to build into Inner's Wave of Light. That can be a little fiddly to set up. The items aren't necessarily the easiest to find, but this is a tankier and tougher version of Wave of Light than Sambuku, and realistically you're going to want to gear into Legacy of Dreams Wave of Light anyway. The Legacy of Dreams Wave of Light is probably one of the quickest builds in the game. Speed farming T16, it probably is flatly the quickest, and speed farming with it is absolutely amazing. Now, you can push pretty high with Legacy of Dreams Wave of Light as well. You know, it's just a completely kill everything build. So I do think that once you get it set up, you probably will be just that little bit quicker than Demon Hunter, and it certainly is a quick and very powerful class. So I'm going to give Monk a 3rd place. Now in 2nd, we're going to go for the Witch Doctor. Now the Witch Doctor is the king of massacre bonus leveling, so getting to 70 is absolutely easy peasy. You chain enemies together with your damage over time effects and your pets. You can get the amazing demise at level 1, that's really handy offhand, and as I say, 1 to 70 is pretty easy. Now the 2 and 4 piece bonuses of Zuni Masters, which is the starting set, are not particularly great, so it is going to be a bit more of a struggle to get your 6 piece bonus, but once you unlock this, it is absolutely nuts. It's a 15,000% multiplier on anything that is hit by one of your mana spenders. Now I followed the leaderboards fairly closely last season, and the Zuni Masters Dagger of Darts build was still there. I think almost a month into the season, it was just ridiculously strong, and you can now potentially take the Echoing Fury, which will speed it up even more. And basically Zunis will go very high very quickly, and I think you'll also be able to speed pretty quickly with it. So that's the only reason I think it will get, well, that's the only reason I'm classing it as stronger than Monk and Demon Hunter, because I just think it goes a little higher. Now it may well be the case that the Monk or the Demon Hunter are better, but I do think once you gear into the Legacy of Dreams Dagger of Darts, it's just really good build, really strong, very powerful, and I do think that it is worthy of 2nd place. So guys, let me know what you think. I'm sure guys, it's probably no great surprise. Number 1, the most powerful class I think for next season is going to be the Wizard. Now Wizard has been pretty much top dog in season 17, and whilst leveling the character isn't necessarily as easy as others, multipliers are a bit harder. I think similar to the Demon Hunter, this will be the easiest season to do it. The Triune Rings will help you with resource, they'll help you with damage, it is quite nice. Your starting set for the Wizard is the Delzir Magnum Opus. DMO is not one I'm particularly fond of, it's not a playstyle that I particularly enjoy, and your 2 and 4 pieces are not great. So the 2 piece basically is a reduction in slow time cooldown, not particularly handy, and then the 4 piece is a pretty decent level of damage reduction. So again, battling your way up to 6 pieces is going to be a little harder with the Wizard, but when you do, you get a pretty juicy multiplier, 8,500%, and obviously you're looking to build into something like Frozen Orb, and the supporting items that go with it do make it very strong. Now if I was just ranking it on the DMO set, then I probably would put this above a Khan, but below the Witch Doctor, below the Demon Hunter, below the Monk. But let's be honest guys, you're going to gear into Veers as soon as possible in this coming season, and when you do, you will be absolutely flying. Now I think Veers this next season is going to be even stronger. The Crimsons it'll be able to use, Squirt's Necklace it'll be able to use, even the Mercerschmidt's Reaver. You'll be able to kill enemies and reduce the cooldown on Archon, so you're not even going to have to find yourself a Zodiac. You're not necessarily going to have to gear for cooldown quite as much, and I just think it's going to be super easy mode. This will definitely be the fastest start solo. You will be flying through content as soon as you get Veers set up. So really, sad to say it, I don't like it when it's the same class on top every season, but if you're playing solo and you want to know how to get as far as possible with 800 Paragon and have fun whilst doing it, I personally think the Wizard is the way to go. I do think it's going to get the most use out of the new items, and it was pretty bloody strong anyway. So guys, there we have it. I think Wizard is going to be the winner. Let me know, what do you think? Would you change the order of any of the classes? Do you think I've done anything a disservice? And also, let me know what class you're going to play. I'm leaning towards Demon Hunter, but I'm open to suggestion and I can be swayed. So let me know what you're going to play. I'd love to hear. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a thumbs up, and I'll see you in Sanctuary and catch you in the next video. Peace.